College News, brought to you by the Murray State News.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the College News. I'm Joey Reynolds. This week, only one student tested positive for COVID-19. The total number of cases since the beginning of the semester stands at 84. As we are entering into the end of the spring semester, advanced scheduling has begun for Murray State students. Scheduling started Monday, April 5th with grad students and will continue by classification throughout the week. Students, make sure you check the scheduling calendar to see the allotted time for you to schedule. Those that haven't met with their advisors need to do so as soon as possible. For anyone confused on how to register, there is a quick tutorial on the Murray State website. Murray State University has been through a lot in the past few weeks. That is why the Merriman House and Lotus Children's Advocacy and Sexual Violence Resource Center helped organize the Vigil for Violence Against Women. The vigil was in response to the murder of MSU senior Sarah Townsend and Catherine Bryan, who was killed in a murder-suicide just feet from campus. Organizer Christine Lindler says the vigil was necessary after so many violent acts against women.
So there's been a culmination of events of violence against women, and we needed to do something to come together to heal these wounds. They're very raw, and we need to mourn.
The vigil was attended by 100 people, many carrying candles, and some had signs with the names of the victims of gun violence. The vigil was held in multiple locations, with each one having the readings of the names of victims of gun violence. The last stop having speakers talking about their experience or of others, including one person reading poetry. The vigil ended with people pinning ribbons which represented victims of violence against women. You will soon have some new stores to shop at in Murray. After a string of store closures, Hopkins Real Estate Advisors has announced 3 new businesses coming to the Shops of Murray, just across the street from Roy Stewart Stadium. The popular department store Marshall's will be setting up in the former home of Office Depot. Goodies is going to be replaced by another department store, Burke's Outlet. And Five Below, a store selling various items under $5, will be where Shoe Department and Rue 21 used to be. Marshall's and Burke's will be opening this spring and Five Below this fall. All Campus Sing is back. The Pitch Perfect style tradition has made its way back to campus after being canceled last year due to COVID-19. Guidelines have still been put in place for the event to happen. Each organization is allowed to have one solo, a duet, and a trio. This year it will be held inside and virtually, April 14th at 4 p.m. For more information, visit the Sigma Alpha Iota All Campus Sing Facebook page. Last week was full of ups and downs for Racer Athletics. For more on that, here's Ashley Craig with this week's Racer Rundown.
Racer football looked to keep their undefeated streak alive as they traveled to face OVC rival Austin Peay. The Govs would score early on and the Racers would respond back on the backs of their offense. The game would stay tied until the Racers gained the lead 31-24 in the third quarter. The lead was short-lived. The Governors were going to score a touchdown to tie the game 31-31. In the fourth quarter, Austin Peay came out on top, scoring a field goal that ended the Racers' 5-game winning streak. Racer football will look to grab a share of the OVC championship against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks on Sunday, April 11th at 2 p.m. Women's soccer headed to Southeast Missouri State Friday night with a chance to clinch their 5th regular season OVC championship. A penalty kick by SEMO will start the scoring in the 11th minute, but the Racers will respond in the 26th with a goal by Rebecca Kubin. They would be tied at halftime 1-1. Lily Strader took the lead for the Racers in the 49th minute and will put the game away in the 88th. Your women's soccer team are the 2021 OVC regular season champions, beating SEMO 3-1. Baseball headed to Tennessee Tech last weekend for a 3-game series. On Thursday, the Racers won Game 1 after a throwing error in the 9th inning to put the Racers ahead of the Golden Eagles 4-2. Game 2 would be scoreless for 4 innings before the 3 Racer RBIs would put the Racers up. They would keep rolling in the 7th inning with 4 more runs. The Racers win the second game 7-2. The Racers will start Game 3 strong with Jordan Cozart putting up his 3rd first-inning home run in 4 games. The Golden Eagles will respond in the first 2 innings, taking a 5-2 lead. Cozart would have another home run in the 3rd inning, but it wouldn't be enough. The Racers lose Game 3 5-4, but win the series 2-1. Here's the other scores from the past week. Racer softball traveled to Jacksonville State. They lost 1-0 on Saturday. Women's tennis traveled to UT Martin Friday. They dominated, winning all 7 games. Women's track placed first at the Joey Haynes Invite at Southeast Missouri State Friday and Saturday. And men's golf is currently hosting a tournament in Dixon, Tennessee. After day 1, they are tied for 5th place. It's going to be all home games this week with a lot of action on Friday. Women's golf will be hosting the Jan Weaver Invitational Friday and Saturday. Women's tennis will look to stay undefeated against SIU Edwardsville. Softball will have a 3-game series against Tennessee Tech at Racer Field. And baseball will welcome Southeast Missouri State for a series at home. That's it for this week's Racer Rundown. As always, you can get scores and more at thenews.org.
In this week's featured story, Deontay Berry highlights the reopening of the Rather Museum, which also has a traveling Smithsonian exhibit. Both the museum and the exhibit host a display for WKMS and has a Murray Room, which shed light on the past and present of the news station and university. Due to COVID-19 restrictions and guidelines, guests are allowed in the exhibits in 20-minute intervals. You can check out that story and more at www.thenews.org and in the printed edition of the Murray State News, which will be on shelves tomorrow. That's all for this week's edition of the College News. We will see you back here next Wednesday. Enjoy the beautiful weather and have a great week.